Welcome to the Morning Mindset of the Live, Build, Change podcast. These morning 4.5, 5-minute episodes are designed to help you and to help me get our minds right for the day. We don't need to worry about tomorrow, right? Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. It's got enough trouble of its own. We need to focus on today. And our mind is the place that directs our living. It's the part of us that influences us the most, really, in how we determine and decide to live in a particular day. And so that's why I've decided this morning mindset is something that can benefit me, and I hope benefits you. Yesterday's episode, we began the conversation about what a proverb is, and we've determined it's a general guideline, a general wise statement that applies in many, many cases, but won't always apply in every case. And I think some of how we can see the benefit of Proverbs is in realizing a proverb is a wise statement. And yesterday I read some from Proverbs chapter 4, and I want to emphasize something that Solomon wrote yesterday, and that we read yesterday. Actually, Solomon wrote it thousands of years ago, but it's in Proverbs 4. He says in verse number 5 of Proverbs 4, get wisdom. Get understanding. Verse 6, do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. And the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, though it cost you all you have. Get understanding. I want to pause here and just say this is something I think we take for granted or we underestimate, perhaps. The power of a wise and discerning mind. The power of a wise heart, the way that we think and view the world. Solomon spends a lot of time here. In fact, he's written 31 chapters of Proverbs, and he didn't write all of them, but there's 31 chapters of Proverbs to emphasize how important wisdom is. I mean, when's the last time you read a book with 31 chapters? I mean, that's a lot of writing. That's a good-sized book. And his whole emphasis is these are wise things. These are things you should learn and can learn to apply to your life to give you these things he just described. Protection, guidance. And though it costs you all you have, you need to get this kind of wisdom because it will exalt you. It will honor you. It will give grace and present you with glory in the things that you do in this life. And so I want to wrap up today's episode by telling you a story. My wife, when she was a little girl, came across this idea from the book of Proverbs that wisdom was this thing that was vitally important. And because she was raised in a Christian home, she had the environment in which this was a natural thing to do. She began daily praying for wisdom, that God would give her wisdom, just like Solomon did. And I believe God has answered that prayer multiple ways. I see her as one of the wisest people I know. God is willing to give you and I His divine wisdom. He really is. James says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all generously, without reproach. So in other words, God's not going to chide you for not being wise. In fact, He's going to love the fact that you asked Him for His wisdom, and He's going to give it generously. So I want to challenge you this morning. Ask God today for the wisdom you need for today. And ask Him in faith. Ask Him believing. Because He will give it. He has promised Himself. He's made Himself amenable to your request for wisdom. So don't neglect that today. You have things you're facing today that you need wisdom for. Be sure and ask God, and then count on Him providing that wisdom to you. Join me again tomorrow morning as we continue to talk about the benefit and value of wisdom on the Morning Mindset.